Yeah.
I was telling Morgan the last time I cleaned my PC out, and I was like, I swear these used to last like forever.
Like a lot longer, it felt like.
The air compressed cans just, I don't know if they leak now or what, but they're not what they used to be.
I put 2 good dudes of the week for next week on there also.
For next week, okay.
Because I have 2 for this week for us.
Okay.
That are only going to be relevant this week. Because, well, yours could be used anytime, but it's funny because we both have one.
Okay. So I'm reading them this week, though. I'm reading them now. Oh, I see. Next week.
These you're reading
okay,
now,
I see how you did.
And then there's next week, good dude.
Okay. Okay.
I put a question mark on the Valorant one because I didn't read the story, so I'm assuming it was like in place of a player that died or something.
Yes. Yep. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Hello, welcome. What is up? Welcome to episode 382 of the Centering Esports podcast presented by Philly Esports. And this is going to be the best episode ever because it's been a while, a CSGO major preview. It is here in 1 week's time. I hope your body is ready. I know ours is, and we will preview all of that and what you need to know. Also, our too soon review for Overwatch 2, as we played a little bit of the beta over the weekend. And, of course, Yikes of the Week and E-News. But before we get to that, let me tell you about Philly Esports. They are our best friends in esports, and they should be yours because they host monthly free events for you to join. And both in person and online. So no excuses. Coming up here, May 28th, League of Legends online collegiate event. June 25th, so you can get way ahead in advance. Valorant's online collegiate event, both with a $3,000 prize pool, completely free to sign up. No excuses. Go sign up. PhillyEsports.gg. Do it right now, and you tell them the TCR boy sent you.
Hey, it's the Shroud, and you're listening to TCR.
Okay, so let's start.
Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome. Welcome back to another edition of The Centering, aka TCR, aka your favorite esports podcast presented by Philly Esports. This is episode 382 coming to you live and or pre-recorded from an undisclosed location. The date is May 2nd, 2022. The time, 8:35 p.m. Central Time. The closest we've ever been to our 8:30 start in probably 2 years.
Thanks to the Mavericks advancing to the second round of the playoffs. So we're trying to get a little game time action in tonight too.
Trying to start early. You would think, maybe they want to hang out with their family. No. It's all about sports and gaming. Go ahead and follow us on Twitter at The Centering and join the Discord. Be a part of the conversation there. It's all fun stuff. Play games with us if you see us online. We're still on Destiny. It's been 1 week. 1 week strong, I might add.
Has it only been a week? 2 weeks.
Maybe 2 weeks we've been playing. It's 1 week since we admitted on the show that we've been playing again.
Yeah.
2 weeks total, probably. My name is Tim. I will be your captain for this journey into esports, and alongside me, as always, is my best friend, my brown friend. It's Anuj. What's up?
What's up, brother? You know what I just got excited for? Randomly, like while I heard it just now, is I heard Shroud's liner, and I was like, oh yeah, we're going to be able to probably grab some new liners here at DreamHack in a few weeks.
Yeah, in a few.
That gets me excited in an awkward way. Like those are always like just kind of fun to get, good little icebreakers and conversation. Are we even applying as media?
Yeah, I'm actually. So you keep remind me. I keep meaning to send the email. Remind me after the show to send the email.
Okay.
I mean, it's crazy that we even have to apply nowadays. You would think they would just roll out the red carpet, and maybe they will. I don't. Who knows?
They just want to see that we're interested before they put in that effort.
I get it. In today's world, you can't just do a reach around. You have to kind of be invited nowadays. So
yeah.
Thanks a lot. I'll email them. We'll get media passes because, of course, why wouldn't we? And man, I'm excited. It is the month of May. It is the month of DreamHack. Actually, no.
It's a lie, but we're a month away.
We are a month away
DreamHack.
from DreamHack. DreamHack is in June this year. Next week, though, will probably be a DreamHack Dallas survival guide, right? 3 weeks ahead of time? That seems pretty good.
If we do 3 weeks ahead of time, that would be the 16th. Either next week or the week after. My guess is it is. I'll tell you right now, actually.
We got to get people. We have to give the people time to gather up supplies.
But we should do it between the 12th and the 16th. So I think the 16th. Shit. I don't know. It's major time, Tim.
I know.
So we have to find a way to work this in, but I also want to be able to
give the
talk
major
about DreamHack and give the info.
Maybe
and share.
Maybe for the people, we'll look at a calendar, and maybe the people
next week. Let's do it next week.
Want to do it next week?
Because who really gives a shit about Challenger Stage? Challenger Stage isn't done until the 12th, which is after our next episode.
Asian Pacific, so, they give a shit about the Challenger Stage.
Yeah, I mean, we care about it, but will be mid-Challenger Stage. So,
I don't care.
A mid-stage update.
I don't care about the Challenger Stage.
Look, to be fair, there's a lot of exciting teams in Challenger Stage. We're going to talk about that today, guys. So that's why it's interesting. So it is interesting, but it's mid-stage on the 9th. So I think we do our DreamHack preview next week. Give everyone that's traveling in and coming to the event, driving in, whatever you're doing, giving you a little bit of prep time to order some stuff off Amazon if you don't have Prime and do what you need to do to get prepared. So let's plan on it. Let's plan on it next week.
Next week.
Or then the 2 weeks after that are both going to all be major talk.
That's right. So unless we wanted to give one to the people and maybe do an old style 2 episodes in 1 week if we can have the time, but who knows with our busy schedule.
If we can muster that, that's not a bad idea. But
you're right.
Either way, we'll do our best to get you there.
We'll figure it out. We'll put pen to paper and figure something out. But just keep in mind, DreamHack Survival Guide, which it's the first one in a long time, and people actually do we used to. I mean, it's DreamHack's been 2-3 years since it's been here. Got a lot of good feedback for people going for the first time. So I'm excited. If you are going, we obviously will be there. If you haven't gotten tickets yet, I don't think it's too late for the normal.
They have BYOC and event tickets still available.
Okay.
They added on to the BYOC.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know they had to add on because I think the premier tickets did sell out. So I think it's just the peasant tickets, which, that's where we're sitting because they offered us hey, do you guys want to sit on the main stage and land? And we're like, please, we
want to be with our people.
Yeah, we're a podcast by the people for the people, and we're gonna game with the people. Don't put us on a pedestal. So, it took a lot of, I guess, negotiation or whatever for them to not put us on a stage, but so be it. They'll live. They
put us on the side of the CSGO main stage, just landing up there.
Boy,
that would be sick.
It would be sick for us. I don't think for anyone else.
No.
Don't think. Look, we know what happens when you put us up on main stage. Okay, must we remind everyone of the Philly Esports Halo tournament where we got put up against a pro team first game?
Too Clutch Timmy comes out from time to time.
I do. Tournament Tim does show up.
IGL Anuj turns into old fallen, we can make magic happen at the right time, Tim. So we just need that shot.
Tournament Tim is no joke. I will pop off when the spotlight is on. That is for damn sure. For damn sure.
Unless we got a reality check by reality check.
That is true. So there's that little DreamHack talk to start the show. That's it. Anything else you got before we get going?
No, man, we got a good show ahead of us and got a lot of info to share.
All right, so let's get into it with Yikes of the Week. Anuj, this is our weekly segment where we go over news, whether it be gaming world, esports world, really just life in general. But esports and gaming, it offers enough. It offers enough. So I'll have you go first with this one. Looks like this was yours, so I'll let you go first.
Yeah, so first of all, did you catch the poker event the other night? Like it was $1 million streamer poker event.
I'm going to ask you a question, Anuj. Out of the years that we have known each other, that we have been best friends, do you think I watched any of the poker event?
So to be fair, I didn't watch any of it either. I just knew it was going on, though. I was aware that it was happening, but I had zero interest in watching it. I figured I would see highlights on Dixerto or some shit if something funny happened. So, no, quite lackluster for as long as it was from what I've seen.
I don't care about poker and I don't care about influencers, so it's like the perfect recipe for me just to not care.
You know, were you not into poker when it like hit the main stage in like 2001 on ESPN?
I wasn't, and I know everywhere. A lot of friends and buddies were like really hyped into it.
I got so hooked. I could have told you all the pro players' names. Like the way you all of a sudden got about NASCAR over the past few years is how I was about poker for a period of time. It was just fun to watch. I just enjoyed watching it.
I did.
You know?
I mean, I played poker with my buddies, and I think it was just, I grew up in a very still my family, we're gamblers. You put us in a casino and, you know, you can sit us there for the rest of the night and we'll be happy. But I just never got into the professional.
No, I don't blame you. It was big on ESPN for a while there, and I kind of just took off with it. So these guys hosted their own event. I think it was like 8 streamers plus Phil Hellmuth, who is a professional poker player, so join them. Anyways, during the stream, one interesting thing came up, and I wanted to just share the info. So back in 2018, take you in a little history lesson here. Back in 2018, Ninja put out a tweet, paraphrasing, "Smash community, get ready, have something big in the works." Okay? That was it. And it was a picture of Donkey Kong. That's all he posted. Never a follow-up from that tweet since 2018. Last night at this poker event, another very popular streamer by the name of Ludwig, I believe he's the one that hosted the event, if I'm not mistaken, asked Ninja about it. He said, "Hey, why aren't you showing any love to the Smash community? You had that tweet out there. Why didn't you like live up to that and do something?" Well, Ninja revealed, and this is where the yikes at. This is a yikes and a good dude simultaneously. Okay. The good dude, Ninja, revealed that he had reached out to Nintendo to host a 500K event. It was supposed to be prior to Evo, but to kind of hype up Evo, get people excited leading into one of the biggest events.
Right.
He reached out to Nintendo, said, "I want to put my own money on the line. I will host the event. I will set it up. I just need your permission." That's all I'm asking for here.
Aren't
the
we all,
obvious yikes of the week, Tim, is Nintendo completely ghosted him. Didn't even respond. And like, look, if I reached out to Nintendo right now, and I was like, "Hey, I want to put on $1 million Smash event," and they ghosted me. Okay, hey, somewhat understandable. I'm just the host of the biggest esports podcast in the world, but like, no big deal. You know, we don't have
people
a trillion
make
followers and haven't been on Ellen anytime recently. But Ninja has, Tim. Ninja is not only the face of gaming, he's been involved in esports, and that's how his career started. He's willing to front the money 100% and host the event. And it's like so typical of Nintendo to completely ghost him of all people. And it's just a continuation of Nintendo not allowing the Smash community, which deserves an event like this, but just doesn't want them to thrive, unfortunately. So, you know, just another example of Nintendo being Nintendo, unfortunately. Like, I mean, it's not anything new. It's just another story to highlight on their lack of awareness of what that community needs. And that is one of the most passionate communities, as we know.
I mean, look, the only reason it's there, Nintendo can take zero credit for the Smash community and the overall, I would say, the game's success, right? Like, from a casual standpoint, I don't even think it's that popular of a game past the first year or two of it being out, right? It's definitely held up by the esports side of things. I have in the mail coming tomorrow, Reggie, the former CEO of Nintendo America. He's released his I guess biography, his tell-all book, right? And it comes out tomorrow, so I'm getting it in the mail. And I am curious to see if it mentions anywhere in there the key to success is to completely block out any free goodwill advertising, because it doesn't seem like they are ever into it, even while he was there. I love Reggie, don't get me wrong. But
but the game has been dying on his watch and
right,
thereafter,
like,
so
this isn't new stuff that Nintendo just all of a sudden decides not to work with people. They've always been like that.
Always been this way.
So
and
2018 Ninja was like peak Ninja. That was
like Fortnite Ninja taking over the scene on every talk show, on ESPN's magazine.
Could you imagine had he like done that and then became known for like a Smash streamer for a little bit? Like, what if he like got caught up in the bug of Smash scene and like that's just what he did? Rather than hosting Fortnite events, he hosted Smash events. How different it could look.
And look, in 2018, he hosted one of the biggest Fortnite events. Like that same year, he hosted a massive Fortnite event, and it would have been nice to have his audience tune into that, even if they weren't regular Smash viewers. Ninja would have been streaming it in 2018 on the biggest platform on the world with the biggest streamer on the world. That would have done something, you would think, right? And so, yeah, unfortunately, they missed out on that opportunity. And look, there's no going back. Not happening now, obviously.
No. Not like it would anyways, right? Not if even if Ninja wanted to do the Smash tournament, Nintendo still would ghost them, because that's just what Nintendo does. My yikes comes from Dota 2, a game we do not talk about ever.
But play religiously.
All the time. In fact, you know how many hours I have on Dota 2? 69.
I bet I have less than you.
I have 69 hours total on Dota 2, and I refuse to play it because that's awesome.
I have to check. I think I have 1 or 2. I did the intro, played a game.
For a hot minute there, I played it like those 69 hours were probably 69 hours straight playing. Like,
I take that back. Guess my playing time. If you get it right, I'll give you $100 right now.
48 minutes.
14.
Oh my God.
I played the intro.
So you pulled it up, did the tutorials, and bounced.
Yeah.
I actually love Dota 2. I suck at it. Like, if I had someone holding my hand and guiding my way through, I would do it. But that's a different lifetime ago.
Yeah, last played September 7, 2013. So
yeah, I mean,
been a while.
Yeah, I think the last time I tried opening it up, couldn't connect to the servers. There was a server issue, and I was like, well, that's a sign right there. Time to uninstall. Anyways, in Dota 2, a VP player, play from VP, of course, not under the VP banner because they're being shunned right now because of what's going on with Russia and Ukraine, but a VP player nonetheless from Russia, good to note, was kicked off the team after doing what, you ask? He drew the fastest Z. So for those who don't know, kind of like the logo of supporting Russia is the letter Z. They spray painted it, I believe. Don't quote me on this. I think it started because they were spray painting Russian tanks with the letter Z on it, so that way Russians would know which tanks were theirs and, identify them as each other, right? So that's kind of became the letter Z is like the symbol for, yes, I support Russia and what they're doing. So this player decides to represent that. Not on Twitter, not on his personal stream. No. This dumbass decided to draw the letter Z on the mini-map in the middle of a match. That's like being casted to thousands of people. And as soon as he does it, his teammates, at this point, you can't even plead ignorance because his teammates at this point scribble over it to try to cover it up right away. Well, you could maybe plead ignorance that you were just drawing and then, oops, I accidentally did a Z. I didn't mean to. But as soon as your teammates cover it up, it's like, okay, now everyone knows exactly what you were doing.
You know, this needs to make sure you copy and paste this onto our Yikes of the Year nominee, because this is about as dumb as it gets. Plain and simple, right? Even if you are pro-Russia in this case, you're Russian, let's say, and you're a Russian that is supporting what Russia has done, because that's not the case for all Russians, as we know.
Right.
But you're supporting it. You still know to keep your mouth shut. That's still kind of obvious.
So I did not know this. Wolf says in chat, it was against a Ukrainian team nonetheless.
Even better.
Like, what an idiot.
Jot that down at the end of that Yikes and make sure this goes as a nominee, because this truly is one of the dumbest things that we have seen a player do. You know, it's different when we talked about what's his name? Boomich, his girlfriend doing something, right? Saying something on Twitter and him liking the tweet. Like, this is that times 100 to me. You know, like,
yeah, that makes his look understandable.
Yeah, like, this is just, there's no excuse for it. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I'm glad they removed him as quickly as they did. They did not wait long.
Oh, it was like within 24 hours. In fact, the Boomich situation, I completely understand in retrospect, because I forgot that they were married. So I totally get him blindly having to support whatever his wife says, because fellas, we all been there. So this is just dumb. I couldn't, when I saw it happen, I was like, surely this was like, maybe he was trying to do like tongue in cheek. No, this was like right there, front and center. You know, he could be young and dumb, but holy shit, that is dumb. Like, that is just what is going on. Like you said, like, look, man, you want to support Russia. I think that's still crazy, but do it behind closed doors. And for the love of God, if you're a professional player, do not tell a soul about it, let alone put it out right in the middle of a stream. What an idiot.
I mean, yeah, there's really no word. There's no way you can justify it. Like, there's just no way you can do that. It's beyond justification, and that's why he will no longer.
And even when your org is VP, which is supposedly, you know, backed by an oligarch, and that's why they're not allowed to participate and have their branding in any of, even they are like, yeah, bud, like, that was so stupid. We have to kick you off the team. Like, we can't even pretend.
You and I talked about this. Like, this affects more than just him, right? Like, it's the livelihood of the other players on that team. If they decide to like continue on, or maybe they're thinking, look, we're already not able to use our branding. Maybe we should just walk away from this altogether until we can come back. You know, this hurts the org that's already in peril with so many of the TOs and community out there. So he did much more than just damage himself and his reputation by doing that.
Yeah, no, it was pretty bad. Pretty bad. I have one more impromptu Yikes, and I wanted to bring this up, and I don't know if you put it in e-news, so I apologize, but I wanted to bring it up right now just so we could have a moment to talk about it.
Yeah.
So you put in our personal chat, Twitch, like top 10 female streamers, right? Like the most viewed streamers. And some of them was what you would expect. Pokimane and some
It wasn't Twitch only, it was just in general, because like Valkyrie is on YouTube.
Okay, whatever. Yeah. So just female streamers in general. And Valkyrie and some of these women you understand, and you're like, okay, yeah, they're talented and entertaining and whatever. And then others, I think like, I don't know, 70% of them were anime avatars or VR things. And if that's your kink, we don't kink shame on this show. But it did make me go yikes, because the other person I saw on the list was Amarith, which I'm not going to sugarcoat it. She's a titty streamer, like 1000% poster boy titty streamer. So I see her on like a recommended list today on Twitch, and I was like, Amarith, what is this? What is this chick doing now? What's up her sleeve right now? Anuj, she is sitting on Twitch, 11.5K viewers, 11,500 viewers live watching her what? In a hot tub, play games, paint in a bikini, write their names on her chest. No. She was sleeping in a bed, sleeping on stream. Almost 12,000 viewers.
Like, am I interested in that? Absolutely not. But is this basically an OnlyFans for kids under 18, right? That don't have a credit card under their name and can't get an OnlyFans. They want to see some tits in their face. They want to see a hot girl on the screen. And this is kind of like
like your mommy blocked Pornhub, so this is all I got type of situation.
Yeah, maybe you're like too innocent for Pornhub or something. You could be like an 8 or 9-year-old, right? Who doesn't really understand that, but no, girls are pretty and she's got big hanging knockers on my screen. Like, look, there's an audience for that. There just is. Like, we see it all the time. It's been happening for 10 years on Twitch, and Twitch is okay with that. And look, they're allowed to do it. Does it always surprise me how many people are interested in that? Yeah, but it kind of shows like
it's the weirdest thing I've ever like I've often wondered where in life like I would see the new thing that would happen where our generation would look at and being like, yeah, I just don't get it. And like I feel like for us and to the older generation, it was like just being very open about, feelings and, hey, you can be gay, you can be trans, whatever, love is love. And hey, you want to be a guy and you want to cry. Like, it's okay. Like, that's kind of was like brought from our generation. And like the older generations look at us thinking, oh, you're just a bunch of weird snowflakes, right?
Yeah, but we also brought internet porn to reality, so
you're welcome.
You're welcome.
And now, though, we have this new evolution where it's like, I'm just going to sit here and watch this girl advertise her OnlyFans, but also sleep for 11 hours. And then also on top of that, just with the other streamers being like the anime video VR avatars, like I don't like the face, what I'm talking about, right? Like
yeah,
the rig,
but like if you,
I don't get it. I'll never get it.
Not that I've ever been to Pornhub, Tim. Like I don't really know what that is.
We're
that
saints.
You speak of.
Like,
but from what I've been told and screenshots that the viewers have sent me and listeners have sent me, like I've noticed that like anime pops up on like top sections and like it's
hentai has always been a thing.
But Overwatch is also a very popular
Overwatch, my theory on Overwatch. Overwatch was created so Blizzard could fund their underground porn industry.
That's the only successful thing that's come from it. And it's still like it surprises me still to see that, but that stuff's been on there for me not to see that, for you to see that and tell me about it. But it still surprises me to hear those stories from you that's always on there. Like daily, you tell me, like, hey, I just went to it and this was there. And
like you'll never believe, like I was doing this research for the show and it was like,
purely
oh my God.
For stats, like it's just, look, Tim, each generation has their own kink.
This is a
this
kink.
Is not
I'm
something
not kink
that we're
shaming.
going to understand.
I'm not kink shaming everyone's obsession with titty streamers and watching them sleep, or an anime voice avatar, probably with a 400-pound woman. No, nothing wrong with that. I'm behind the screen. Not gonna kink shame, but I definitely am not kink understanding.
Yeah, I mean, like we look at it as like, dude, you can go get your wank on in 30 seconds and just get it over with.
Like, be done. Like, you don't need to watch a woman sleep for 11 hours. Like, you're wasting a lot of time doing this.
Like, that's a lot of precious gaming time. I guess you
like, come on, you gotta optimize your time.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm look, not that I do it.
Women have found a way, and I wish I could do this. Okay, they know how to profit off of their sexuality because they realize men are weak in this area.
We're dumb.
And I've seen crazy, unbelievable numbers of what people make on OnlyFans. Like, it's absolutely insane what thousands and thousands of young women are making on it. And look, do I want my daughter doing that? No. Will she do that? No. But there are plenty of people out there with daddy issues.
If all of a sudden she rolls up in a Lambo, like, you know why?
Oh yeah, she's like, my boyfriend bought this for me. Yeah, right.
Right.
Like yeah, right.
If all of a sudden your daughter who's away in college rolls up in a Porsche, this wasn't because she saved up while working at, the
I
local
saved that
bookstore.
$80 allowance you gave me a week.
No. So it's a new world out there, Anuj.
It
and
is,
you know
it
what?
is.
Maybe I'm just upset because we can't do it. If
Hey, that's part of it is
like-
jealousy for sure, right?
like if I put a webcam on us for sleeping, it wouldn't work. Like it just maybe one day if we can figure out how to do the rigs, we'll do a show as anime foxes or something. I don't know. Just to see.
We just need to get our wives interested and like exploit them a little bit.
There's a better chance of people finding me more attractive while sleeping than getting my wife interested in anything to do with Twitch or gaming for that matter. Trust me, I've been down that road.
It's entertainment, Tim. It's not.
I've
never seen them game.
You don't understand. They're content creators. Look at all the
Pokemon,
content.
Valkyrie, like these.
They're
people,
different.
They game.
They're different.
Like they game.
They're
They'll
different.
play all the games,
Amherst,
but there are a lot that just sit
I'm
there.
sure a
with
lot of the
very
female
low cut.
streamers looked at that list and thought, "Really, Amherst? Did you really have to put her on this list?" Like,
But
come
again,
on.
it just shows the power, dude. Like it's the power of the titty.
Yeah, the power of the titty. Never underestimate it. Never underestimate it.
underestimate it.
You know what you can't ever underestimate, though, Anuj? This show. Because every once in a while, the stars align and we remind the people why we do it and why we're the best and why we've been doing it for so long with such huge success. And that's because we have our foot on the throat of the industry, our finger on the pulse. We say esports jump and esports says how high. And you, sir, are the most recent example of this because last week, and we can throw it up in Good Dudes. Why not? We can give ourselves good dude. We can pat ourselves on the back.
Happens occasionally.
Last week, you said on this very show, esports need to have golf polos. They need to have something for the gamer dad to wear out on a casual day out, maybe to casual Friday at work, rep your team, but also look professional. Like not everything has to be, whatever, esportsed up, right? And lo and behold, our good friend Nate Shot, our best friend Nate Shot with 100 Thieves, you might have heard of him, announces the next day, 100 Thieves released their golf line with a polo, I might add.
2 polos, a ball marker, some hats, a golf towel. I'm going to be honest. I did go on there because it launched on the 30th. I did go on there to see what I could get. I wanted to get a polo because the fact that I feel like it'd be hypocritical if I didn't get a polo. So I went on there in the intention of getting a polo and some sort of or some sort of golf accessory. In this case, wouldn't have minded getting one of their towels or a ball marker or something. But their shit sells out so incredibly fast that I gotta believe it's bots.
I want to see these numbers though too. Like what do they make?
I'm sure they do sell out because it's become
yes.
Their stuff resells for a lot. Like resale market is high,
of course. But how many towels are they selling? Like, do they only make 50 towels and then boom, they're sold out?
No, I mean I'm sure they're making them in the thousands, but it's not in the it's not 100,000 probably. But I mean they can bankroll a whole esports org on their clothing line because they're not winning championships, Tim. Okay. they're not.
Their league team's not that bad.
They're good. They're not bad, but they're not winning championships. It's not like their esports teams carry the brand, right?
No.
I mean, their clothing line is funding their operation along with all the investment money. But look, they sell out quick and it looks I liked it. I thought it was great. It's exactly what I asked for. Like, keep it simple. Give me
polos weren't that great.
No, they're not they're amazing or anything, but it's simple, right? It's a golf polo. It's to me, it looks like a golf polo. I wouldn't have minded their Masters.
I like the hat and stuff. I was gonna get a hat.
The hat was nice. I would have taken any of the above. I would have taken the ball markers. I would have taken the towel. I would have taken the hat.
By the time I
T-shirt
got
or
there,
polo?
it was all sold out, except for like you could
Everything.
get the sweater for like $120, but
Which, like, for
it's
us,
May.
that shit's overpriced. B, I'm like, when we're playing golf, it's not at a time when I'm wearing a sweater. you
no,
know
or
what I
even when
mean?
we go like shoot guns and stuff, it's like look.
It's
I think
hot.
this weekend I was gonna ask if you wanted to go shooting on Sunday, and then I looked and the high's like 97, and I'm like,
Let's wait.
maybe next week.
We're gonna eventually have to go when it's hot.
Eventually, yes, but
But
not,
right now, we can still sneak in a good weekend or two
yeah,
with some decent
not
weather.
right
You know.
now. So,
But Nate Shot, not if you're listening, because clearly
dude,
you are. You took the idea, you ran with it, you put it
can't
together in a
convince
week.
me. There's been way too many coincidental things that we say on this show, and then they either tweet, put it in a they listen. You can't convince me they don't. Someone at 100 Thieves listens.
Well, as much as I would love to believe that, and it's true, I know Nade's listening because he's a big supporter of the show, Texas Weekly anyway. Chances are they've had this in the works for a while. So they were on the right track in their thinking. Put some back in stock. Let me grab one. Maybe send one to me. That would be cool too. Save me like $60 on the polo. But yeah, if they get it back in stock, promise you guys, I will go buy something because I've been asking for this and I'm excited to see it. So
Yeah. Samwise
bravo
says in
to
chat
100
that Astralis does have a cotton polo, but I don't do cotton
I
in
need more
Texas.
breathable than
I don't,
cotton
yeah.
over here.
Can't do cotton in Texas. It's
Yeah.
doesn't bode well.
Look, Cloud9, if they release a polo for Gambit,
A heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
might hop in on that with you. So,
And where I predicted the future of Anuj, this was announced. It's kind of been teased or whatever, but I guess it's just been recently announced more officially. I mentioned this, God, it was probably last year, right? We had
it must have been at least 6 months ago. We had a
Unfiltered Nerd on the show,
yeah.
and it was for the E3 episode. Oh, that's what it was. It was for the E3 episode.
Yeah, so it would have been like last June or July.
Yeah,
So a year.
and he was on. We were just shooting the shit, and I was like, "What's your E3 prediction?" And I said, "I bet you Netflix is going to announce that they're going to enter in the gaming realm." I was like, "That is my big brain prediction. I bet you Netflix is going to get involved some way, some form of gaming." Lo and behold, they've officially announced it that they will be adding gaming subscriptions by the end of the year. You will see, I think in the press release they did mention how much, but we will see games on Netflix by the end of the year. What games, what type? I don't know. They looked pretty basic in the teaser picture, like
do you think
solitaire.
this will be games like that you play with your TV remote control type thing?
I mean, look, it looked like it was like solitaire and like Windows games.
Like, I think it would have to be stuff you're on. Like, it's stuff that
Yeah.
you would do on the TV, obviously.
And unless
right?
they also like make a controller, or they somehow adopt like a Bluetooth to the TV or something like that.
Yeah, like Bluetooth to the device or something.
Yeah. Look, that being said, I'm not patting Netflix on the back because I think they're about a couple years from going the way of Blockbuster with the way they've announced stuff and done business.
I told Kelly I'm close to canceling. I was like,
It's-
they keep raising prices, and
We
it's
use
like,
our
it's-
in-laws because we all share subscriptions, but at the point, Netflix has gotten to the point now where it's like, listen, why don't we just wait? We'll buy it 1 month a year, grind out and binge watch anything we wanted to watch for that year, and then just wait till next year to
Because
do it.
let's be real, a lot of the stuff on Netflix is straight trash now. Their
It's
originals
garbage.
have become garbage. Their originals at the start were awesome, have become garbage over the last
Yeah.
few years. So
It's
HBO has become a go-to for me. Disney Plus has become a go-to for me. Netflix, I watch Hulu more than I watch Netflix.
see,
now.
Hulu's pretty rough too, but
But we're Master Chef fans, so they have every season
Yes,
on there,
yes,
and we
yes.
didn't realize that until like a couple months ago. So we are on like season 6 now.
see, I'm
So,
I'm pretty much, you could give me Disney Plus, and I could pretty much leave
I don't
everything
think
else.
I could do without HBO either now.
They do have a lot
HBO
of
has
good stuff.
become, like-
Yeah, we have HBO. Disney
it's
Plus,
become
I
one of
just
my
like it because I
favorites.
do like the trio. So we get the basic Hulu, which we never watch, but like ESPN Plus, and they got
Yep.
all the sport. Like they just added all the 30 for 30s on Disney Plus. So I'm like,
Yep.
okay,
Awesome.
I know what I'm
No.
watching now.
It's, for value wise, also considering we both have young
Oh my
children,
God. Lifesaver.
Disney Plus is a godsend. It really is. So Disney Plus is clearly number one
Yeah.
in my book, but
I just love
HBO is
love
also
Netflix
right up there.
in their blind dumbness where they're like they announced that they've lost 200,000 subscribers. So then what they're like, "Oh, you know what people want? We want to give you options. So now we're going to add advertising into Netflix within the next 2 years and give you options to pick a plan to get rid of ads or not." And I'm like, that's exactly what people don't want.
That's what everybody else does that you separated yourselves from.
Right. And it's like, as soon as they start adding ads,
And did you see they're going to start cracking down on account sharing?
Yeah. Look, they're doing everything wrong that
So good dude for Tim for
predicting it.
What's going to happen.
I know the industry.
But yikes of the year, Netflix for effing up $1 trillion company.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So there's that. Yeah, Wolf this week, last episode of Moon Knight. It's okay show. Have you watched Moon Knight yet?
I haven't started it. I haven't. I've been watching my show right now is Winning Time, the Lakers series.
I haven't started that yet.
Really enjoying that. I can really only handle one show at a time if we're being honest, because we also do our late night Master Chef watching when we're in bed, so I only have so much time to divvy on TV.
I do late night Master something too.
Right now it is Winning Time, so I would highly recommend that show for any sports fan.
Moon Knight's okay. It's good. It's good.
That's what I've heard.
And
I just haven't jumped in.
It's the way Disney does their Disney Plus Marvel shows. They're so like formula. It's like, okay. I feel like, and they do the same thing with all their Star Wars stuff. It's like all of it is just a giant setup for the last episode, which then sets them up to go into the movies, or the next season. Like nothing is a payoff. You're always just waiting and waiting.
It's like been relatively happy with things like The Mandalorian and all that.
Boba Fett sucked.
See, I also liked Boba Fett, but not as much as The Mandalorian. But I liked it. I didn't think it was like
Boba Fett for a Boba Fett show sucked.
It could have been better for sure.
Yeah, but I digress because we can talk all day about shows.
Yeah, we're gonna completely go off track here.
Look, the train has been derailed. So let's talk a little bit of this major preview coming up for CS. We talked a little bit about last week. We already mentioned the talent. Again, nothing more said. They completely knocked it out of the park. Everyone there completely deserving. You could think of a few people that you would like to see, but really can't think of anyone you'd want to replace with. So super happy for everyone in the talent booth, especially our friend of the show, Launders. So maybe we can get him on again sometime afterwards, just to talk about his experience for his first major ever.
Let's see if we can get him on this week, Tim.
Yeah, shoot him a text. What's up? So there's that. He's also busy doing Blast. Like the guy just never
grinder,
never takes a break. So incredible effort by him. But Anuj, this is the first major in how long?
Well, we had Navi win the major back
Stockholm
in October.
Has it been October? Yeah, November, I guess, was the end date. November 7th was the finals there. So then we have Antwerp coming up here in Belgium, which, again, it does start the 9th, so that's next Monday, hence why we're doing the preview now. A lot has changed since last major, though, in Stockholm. Remember when Stockholm happened, I mean, I said on the show, it was the year of Simple, the year of Navi. Pretty much going into the major, everyone was saying, hey, this is Navi's major to lose. And, I think 99% of the people had their money on Navi. I don't know if we have a clear-cut favorite, and maybe you do, and you can tell me, but I don't have a clear-cut favorite for this one.
No, I think if Navi wasn't dealing with the political mess that they're dealing with, I would definitely say they're like a clear cut above everybody else, but we know that it has been challenging over the past couple of months for them as players, family, friends, home. It's just home for them. And so I think that unfortunately can derail you because you're not 100% focused. And as we've seen in Counter-Strike, all it takes is a round here or there to shift momentum. And turn a match that you really thought somebody didn't have a chance in. I do think also the way FaZe has been playing, to me, they are a favorite going into the major. Like, if you were like Anuj, who do you think is going to win it all? I would say FaZe is the team to beat, with Navi being a close second. But FaZe just looks so good in their new lineup, and they've luckily gotten like a chance to play a decent amount together, right? It's not like they just added ROPS before the major and they're going in and having to learn how to play. Like, they've won events, they've lost events, they've experienced some highs and lows. They're learning how to use the talent that they have. And I think they're like really have ramped up nicely and had enough time to do so. I think just talking about the challenger stage, this is not your typical challenger stage. This is not challenger stages of years past where there's a handful of teams that, yeah, hey, it'd be cool to see them make it through, but we have all the big dogs in the legend stage. So that's all we want to see. We have Vitality. We got XVP. We got G2, who, G2 and Vitality, these are two teams you would have never thought would be in Challenger
Those are
stage
top
and
10
would be in
teams.
Legend stage. You have Astralis, who is hitting some stride just based on how they were playing at this past event at Blast this past week. Liquid, there's a lot of teams here that expectations are you make it through to the next round or this was an absolute failure. This is not we made it to the major, we got stickers, we're happy type situation. This is going to be, hey, if we don't advance, if G2 doesn't advance, Vitality doesn't advance, those are major blows to those Counter-Strike organizations, right? Like, these teams probably can't even afford to not make it through because of the amount of money that has been thrown onto these rosters. So I think we are set up very nicely for an exciting challenger stage. Swiss format, we can maybe talk about that briefly for a minute here in just a second. But I do think we're set up real nicely with a lot of high expectations, which creates a lot of drama for us fans, viewers, because something is going to happen. Expect the unexpected, whatever you want to call it. Like, something always happens to throw you in for a loop. And I expect that to happen here. Like, there will be somebody that will have an amazing story, win strike, those types of stories. And you will have teams fall out much earlier than expected. So that's what excites me for this stage.
And like you said, it is Swiss format. So we have 16 teams, Swiss format, which we all know it's not the perfect system, but it's not the worst. I miss the groups, just from a personal standpoint. I like the old fashioned, you get 4 groups in there and then you duke it out and the 2 go in. It's just easy to talk about and it's easy to follow. And I think we typically got the better teams out of it. I feel like us with the Swiss format, there's always a little bit of drama thrown in there because the way it's done is the only matches that are best of 3 are elimination matches. Outside of that, it's all best of 1s.
Well, elimination and progression. So,
well, yeah, okay. So it's the ending matches, right?
Yeah,
so whether
yeah.
you're advancing or being eliminated, they're best of 3s. So how you were saying though, like the drama there, any team can lose a map, right? Like, it doesn't matter if you're the best team at the event. We've seen it happen before where G2 could easily go into this. And do you have the first round matchups in front of you? Do they have that out yet?
If HLTV has it right, G2 would be playing Imperial in the first round.
Okay, and Imperial is the Brazilian team with Fallen, Fur, FNX, Bolts, and Vinny, which, look, at 5 years ago, that roster would have been...
Hey, look, FNX is 3-0, 2-0 in majors. He's never lost a major that he's attended. Kind of a cool stat. Fallen, as you know, like, brings what Fallen brings. Fur, Bolts, Vinny, like Vinny coming from Furia. Like, this is not a pushover run-of-the-mill team. Like, they're going to have to...
Yeah.
The Brazilians just know how to amp themselves up for these types of events. They are Tournament Tim on crack is what the Brazilians are. Like, they show up when it counts, and that's just what they do. And they're notorious for it in any esports. So, you you're right. The Swiss format has its flaws. The group format, as you mentioned, you generally do see the better teams go through because the group formats are generally seeded, right? So you have two usually better teams and then two teams that rank towards the bottom, similar to how you see in FIFA and any other major event that does like a grouping format. I want to be honest with you though. I like the Swiss format. I like it because it creates chaos, and I
Yeah.
want to see chaos when it comes to these types of events. I love having underdogs find their way through. That's really hard to do in group format because they, generally have to beat two really good teams. Where with the Swiss format, you can get lucky. Your seeding can make it really lucky, and you could beat three crappy teams or three average to below average teams to make it through. So I'm okay with the Swiss format. As a player, no, I would not like it. But if I am 9Z or Renegades or the Mongolian team, hey, I'm kind of okay with the Swiss format. Just got to take a map, get a little lucky, like get one for the boys.
Or
So,
complexity or liquid.
yeah, I mean any of them, right? Like any of these bottom feeders, like it is a kind of a blessing that this is how it's set up because you just got to take one, and we've seen it happen time in time out. Like it's very doable, and so that's why I like it. But yes, completely understand anyone that's against it for the obvious reasons. Like it allows for that chaos, but not everybody wants to see that. So
One storyline going in, and you don't even need a Swiss format to create this Cinderella story, is Bad News Eagles. Have you been keeping up with them?
I have. I saw that little org chart type thing you sent me also, which is absolutely insane because the rise that these guys have had in less than 5 years time is unprecedented, and also should give anybody out there that wants to be pro in Counter-Strike, like, it's a glimmer of hope, right? Like, and that's what their story is.
So
and
pretty
it's
much
beautiful.
Like what these guys did is that, like Anuj said, back in 2018,
18, somewhere around
17 might have been the first one. These guys started in Face It. Not Face It Pro League, Face It. And then they got invited to, the higher up league, and then got invited into FPL, and then picked up by orgs, and then they find their way together again, and now they're in the major, and that's, look up the story. It's incredible to find themselves here, and they've met with the prime minister of their country. Like, it's insane how their story is even like beyond just the Counter-Strike world, right? Like everyone is picking up on it, the fact that they're here, and we've seen that quite a few times. Bad News Eagles, that's a story that a feel-good story that you want to watch. What is it? IHC, right? The Mongolia team. It's the first time ever that a team from Mongolia.
Like, we got a team from Mongolia and then Bad News Eagles from Kosovo. Like, when was the last time you heard either of those countries involved in the CSGO event?
Never.
And now you're hearing them for the first time at a major.
Shout
That's
out
pretty cool.
Mongolian Grill. I don't even know if that place is a thing anymore, but it was.
Place was the bomb. It was
so-
Chipotle before Chipotle.
It was so good. Like, if we can just take 5 seconds to appreciate how good Mongolian Grill was, just mwah.
Fun fact: sat right next to Troy Aikman at Mongolian Grill 20 years ago.
Really?
Him and his wife at the time, who was like literally 2 feet shorter than him. It almost looked like he was dating a midget. It was that awkward, like a size differential. But literally came and sat in the booth right next to me, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's Troy Aikman!" And I wanted so badly nothing more than to go ask him for a picture at the time. But this was like pre-cell phone camera
Right.
time, so I did not get that opportunity.
Get him on the show.
Yeah,
Reach out. Hey, you remember that one time at Mongolian Grill? Want to come on
back
my
in Plano in
esports?
2003. You want to come over?
That was a good restaurant, though. I'm gonna look up to see if there's no way they're still around.
That's clearly what they probably eat daily, right?
Just all the time, Mongolian Grill. Like,
No.
I eat.
No,
Look, and-
like that's what Mongolian food. Like they go into the kitchen and they just start throwing stuff in a bowl and cook
look,
it.
I just assume the stereotype where all we eat is McDonald's. That's not too far off. Like, you got 2 kids and chicken nuggets are pretty convenient a lot. I'm sure they just eat Mongolian Grill all the time. Like, it's just
Probably
on every
reminds them-
street corner.
reminds them of home.
Yeah, it probably tastes exactly like their home cook. So congratulations to them for being at the major. Hopefully there is a Mongolian grill in Belgium so they can feel like they're at home. But I'm super excited to see that progress. Do I think they're going to get anywhere? No. Do I think Bad News Eagles will get anywhere? No. I think that like all these newer teams in here, look, this is the major. Typically, the cream does rise to the top. How many times have we seen teams like Tyloo get into the major and then never do anything with it? And that's okay. Getting to the major for these teams is winning it, right? Like, just if they go 0-3 or 0-4, whatever you can, doesn't mean that it was a complete failure on their end.
But we have seen some Cinderella stories, and that's something to keep in mind. Like, Windstrike was a Cinderella story.
Yeah.
Gambit winning the major a few years back was a Cinderella story.
Now, Gambit is one of the only teams that after winning a major have still kind of stuck around. A lot of times we see these Cinderella stories and
not
they never
right
go
away.
anywhere.
They fell off for like 2 years. Gambit was like, they were there, but so irrelevant after they won that major for a little bit. And now they've obviously, they are what they are now, which is incredible. But there's always those Cinderella stories out there. So I hope we see one, right? Like, I don't care. Renegades to me would fall into that category, but Renegades, IHC, 9Z, Imperial, although we mentioned them as a team with some potential because of the names on that roster, that would still be Cinderella-esque to bring back
at this
FNS
point,
and
with those
fall
names
into
coming
all
back,
of a sudden rebound. Like, that would be cool, right? A couple teams I just don't want to see get eliminated at all. Like, I really pray that we get a Liquid in there, a G2 in there, a Vitality in there. Like, I really hope none of those teams miss out. Complexity would be cool, but I just want one NA team to cheer for, so I don't care, one of them make it, please. But we're, again, as much as it can seem lopsided, like, oh, I need to pick a top 8 that's so easily identifiable on this list, be ready. The Swiss format allows for chaos, and it's what it's built for. It's why they do it, and I expect to see some of it here. There will be some good teams lined up in the 1-0 versus 1-0 matchup where one of them has to lose, and they will fall, and then nerves start to kick in. Like, it's just the way the system is set up. It puts an immense amount of pressure to win and win early. And so a team that falls in that first game and starts off 0-1, I'm telling you, keep your eyes posted on them, because it can snowball very quickly. And I'm excited to see who that is. I'm excited to see which teams go 3-0. Like, we see the random Copenhagen Flames have done this last year. There's those teams that just kind of surprise you. And so that's where the story is for me.
Send us your pick'ems. Send us your sticker pick'ems.
Oh crap. Is that up?
I have no idea, but it's got to be here soon, right? A week away. It's got to be. While you're looking that up, Samwise says he went to Mongolian Grill just the other day at Fort Worth. So we're in Fort Worth, Anuj. There we go. That's where our next date night is.
Need to hit up on that.
That's our next date night. Samwise also says he met us in 2018 with while Win Astralis played Liquid in Dallas. So Samwise, of course we remember that. And if you're going to DreamHack this year, be sure to hit us up. We will be there next week. DreamHack Dallas Survival Guide. So we'll talk everything DreamHack there. I'm going to make an executive decision here, Anuj, because I know the Mavs game has started and you want to watch it. We're already an hour into this episode. So we're going to push the too soon review for the Overwatch 2 beta. Spoiler alert, it's Overwatch. So, we'll give our critique.
I'm happy that we're doing that, because we are at the end of the first quarter here, and I'm trying to pay attention to you and watch the game at the same time.
I appreciate you being honest.
But I also have some really strong opinions on it.
You have strong opinions. I know I want to defend against Overwatch, against your opinions, because I do know a lot of people are saying shit about it, and I'm like, listen, do you guys not read? But it's also like we've also said since we played the beta 3 years ago, like, it's Overwatch. Like, we played it at BlizzCon when they first announced it, and we were like, I mean,
It just depends on where your expectations were. Were
right.
you following the development closely enough to know what you were getting? Or did you just hear Overwatch 2 and were like, damn, a new game's coming out?
That's
Tune
pretty
in-
much what
tune
it
in next
boils
week.
down to.
For not only an Overwatch 2 soon review, but that's probably a perfect thing to pair up with DreamHack Dallas because both will take us a solid 30 to 45 minute conversation on each of those.
Easy. So we'll talk Overwatch 2 next week. Let's get into some e-news and knock this out. In CS, speaking of DreamHack Dallas, IEM Dallas, which is the same thing for those confused. IEM Dallas will be at DreamHack Dallas. It's interchangeable, though, for conversation
IEM
purposes.
is just the sponsor, so the name is
and like they combined everything. ESL is DreamHack. It's it's confusing. It's convoluted. It's all DreamHack Dallas.
But either way, we're happy with what they're doing.
Yes, and VP will no longer be able to attend the event due to visa issues, which I guess was kind of expected. Guardian, friend of the show, is back in competitive CS. He is with Team Sampai? Sure.
Yeah,
Why
I
not?
don't know what Sampy is what I would have said, but I don't know.
And we'll give it a go with relatively young and unknown group of players. So it's good to see Guardian just being back, right? Speaking of being back, Gob B is back, still with Big. Remember, he was still with Big, but on the Valorant side. Well, now he's back on the CSGO side, not as a player, but as a coach.
And I think that that's important for them because they did really well with him in the coaching role before. And he brings just such a great amount of leadership. He's had to play for that organization as a player before, player coach, in fact. So I think that's a great pickup for him. And I don't know how I'm thinking of Sentinels right now for Valorant because you just said Valorant. How the hell do they not have a coach still for that team? Somebody explain that to me. That might be a yikes next week.
Maybe that's where Sinatra goes as a coach. I also wonder how soon it will be that Gob B is on the Big roster. Not saying that Big's doing bad, right? They don't necessarily need him, but it's just Gob B. So, I wish we had more time to discuss this because I don't see in any world that this works out. And I also don't see how you can say you're going to create a 15-man roster when you don't even qualify for the major. But Evil Geniuses announced that they plan and have been planning to do this, to sign a 15-man NA roster to help develop talent for them on all levels. Now, the logistics of this will be a nightmare because a lot of the leagues you can't double up. Like you can't have an academy team and
No.
whatever, but
I think this is more of a play on words. So I want to try and explain this better than maybe the headline said it to you. They're just going to be signing 2 other academy teams. There's no intention of these other 10 being on the main squad anytime soon. So they will have a pro team and just develop NA talent with 2 academy teams. It's not like a true 15-man roster where it's going to be like, hey, one week we have players 1 through 5, but next week we're going to bring in player number 14 and substitute him out for Stewie.
Right.
Like, you're not going to see stuff like that. This is really a 5-man roster with 2 academy teams to help build and develop NA talent.
And look, I hope it works out. Maybe they're even just thinking about a way to turn and burn players and sell them off to other orgs in NA. If it makes NACS better, I'm all for it. I just think it's odd that an org that can't even make their main roster qualify for the major is saying, hey, we're going to now get 2 other academy rosters. But
yeah,
if it's all about developing,
put in blind faith because we want to see
right.
NA. We've been asking for NA to develop as a region, and they're putting their money behind that and their organization behind that to try and do that. Whether it's successful or not, it's going to be a TBD, right? But
look, for an org that was out of CS for a very long time, it's just cool to see that, like,
it's nice to see.
I'm not going to lie.
So.
I was worried EG was going to bow out of CS. So the fact that they're doing this was a surprise to me because I thought, well, shit, you already left CS once. Now you kind of suck again and just things aren't working out. Maybe they're going to peace out. But no. They're all in, so I'm all for it. Valorant news. Valorant, or I guess Riot, released Valorant's roadmap for 2023. Believe it or not, in May of 2022, they're already letting us know. Go figure. That's possible in esports to have a roadmap. 3 leagues.
Pretty great.
Right, I know. 3 leagues, global events, in-game experiences. It's going to do the works. Go look it up if you're interested. But it is, look, 2023 is going to be a good year for Valorant and Riot. Call of Duty news. Modern Warfare 2 confirmed as the next Call of Duty title. Will be, again, this is the one that will be 2 years. They're skipping a year. So we're going to get Modern Warfare 2. A lot of people are excited. Look, the fact that it's going to be on the table for 2 years, I might get it day one just for that reason alone.
Well, no, I'll buy it at the end of year one when League Play finally releases.
Very true.
And, no, I am excited, though. I think that Modern Warfare 2 is needed. Like, that's what people have been asking for, is that type of game, going back to a little bit more of the roots, I guess you could say.
Right.
I think it's exciting by name only at the moment. Until
Give
we
us
see
League
what they're
Play
doing.
at launch.
Like, let's see what they do. Call of Duty is like a WoW expansion.
And you're right.
It's always exciting. And
It's let's see what they do, not what they say. Because
Yeah.
they said it before. They'll say a lot. They'll say, hey, we're going to get League Play, and it's going to be there at launch. It's going to be there within the next month. And then it's 8 months later, and the game's dead. And, hey, here's League Play. For the 30 of you still playing multiplayer, here it is. So, guess we'll just have to wait and see.
If there were that many.
In FPS, and just general FPS news, the Kansas City Halo Major was this weekend. It was amazing, man. I'll say it until I'm dead in my grave. Halo esports, at its best, is an S-tier esport. It's just a shame the game's kind of died, and I think I saw maybe 60, 70,000 people watching, which, look, is not bad. They also have co-streams, so you got to add those numbers in like we do with others. But compared to what it was when the hype was there.
There's definitely more people watching than playing at the moment.
Yeah, probably not far off. But the Kings were taken down. Cloud9, their 3 LAN event, 3-win streak is no more, as Sentinels absolutely obliterated them in the finals. Cloud9 had a pretty good loser bracket run to get back to the finals, so maybe they just used everything they had to get there, but Sentinels defeated Cloud9. So there's that. Cloud9 defeated Optic in the losers finals, so that was awesome to watch. But Sentinels, congratulations. Sentinels, and look, I know people are also making fun of them in the Valorant world for not having like an infrastructure. There's no coach, no like team manager, as far as I understand. There's no practice.
There's no coach or analyst. Shazam is having to do all of it, but he's like failing as a player right now, unfortunately, or struggling as a player, I could say. And
I think people forget, like, Sentinels, they're not like a old org. Like, remember they had Booga win the Fortnite World Cup, and that was the first time I think any of us were like, Sentinels, what org is that? And you looked, and it's like they had Booga, maybe a FIFA player at the time, and like,
Yeah, Booga put him on the map.
Yeah, so
they got a couple mil off that, got their name out there, got investments, and started.
They were hot in Valorant. Been a few years. Like, they got hot in Valorant with the players they signed. Now they're hot in Halo. Like, I think there's some growing pains there, and they're kind of realizing, like, oh, we gotta like actually support these guys as like a team type of thing. There's that. FGC news, Street Fighter teams up with Fortnite again. We are getting Blanca as a player in Fortnite. You know, I'm gonna buy him for sure. In other news, Xbox Bethesda showcase June 12th. We'll see if Blizzard's involved. I don't know. Happy birthday to you, Anuj.
Thank you.
June 12th. So you're going to get some exciting news for your birthday. We'll see.
Fallout 52.
The next Fallout might be the Blizzard Xbox deal. Ayo. We'll see what happens with that.
The next Fallout takes place in Activision offices.
I don't know. It's every time I look up that, it's like some politician.
Navigate the sexual harassers on floor 1 to advance.
Yeah, every time I look at that deal, though, everyone's like saying it's not going to happen and how it's terrible for the industry. But then
I see other reports saying that, it's going through. It's just like political nonsense that's like holding it up. So
I don't know. I don't know
I
why.
had that in e-news, and then I was like, you know what? Just wait.
I don't know why politicians would be so hell bent on this deal and not like all the others that's happened. But don't get.
This one is the problem.
Yeah, this is it. Doc makes a surprise appearance at the NFL draft for the 49ers.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Came out in obviously full Doc apparel, and
of course
loved it. I mean,
and at this point, I feel like everyone kind of knows who he is, right? Like even non-Twitch people probably at least recognize him. Like he's been,
and like he's also like such a sports guy. Like he's at so many games.
Like he knows how to read the crowd.
Yeah.
So. And RIP to Razer co-founder and gaming mouse inventor Robert Krakoff. He has passed away. Anuj, this one hit close home to me because, as you know, I am a Razer fanboy. The Razer Death Adder has been my mouse of choice since the very first time it came out. I switched from Logitech, I bought it, and I have not looked back. I absolutely love it. Without this man, I probably wouldn't even be playing PC games.
What? Razer fan or not, you got to appreciate what the man did with his time here, and we're all grateful for it. He helped build an amazing company, and you know, rest in peace, and condolences to the family and friends.
Absolutely. Stay hard, Robert Krakoff. Well, there you have it. That will do it for this episode of The Center Ring, aka TCR, aka your favorite esports podcast, presented by Philly Esports. Go to their website right now, phillyesports.gg. Sign up for their events. It's free. So why not? We will be back next week talking Overwatch 2 beta and our DreamHack survival guide for Dallas. So very important. If you have questions on DreamHack Dallas, what to do in the area, because again, we live here, so we know this. What to do in the area, where to stay, you know, how early should I get there? When should I leave? What should I bring? Let us know in chat. Let us know in DMs, Discord, whatever, and we will answer all of your questions there. Wolf in chat says NA Challengers just finished up last night. Wolf, you listen to the show enough to know that we are not watching Valorant that early on in Challengers, sir. We just got done with Iceland here. Like,
yeah, well, call us after the second, maybe second, third qualification stage.
I gotta recoup. But that's it for this episode. For Anuj, I'm Tim. Love you. Goodbye.